Hello friends, and welcome back to It's Cocktail Time. Friends, today we're going to make a cocktail that is probably around 100 years old called the Tailspin. It was created at some point between 1912 and 1930, probably when aviation and flying in planes was a really big deal and really exciting to everybody. So thus its name, the Tailspin. Now, there are a couple of weird things about the recipe that I'm going to point out as we go along. And it's not going to make it harder to make, but they're just kind of oddities. So how do we start? We're going to start with our shaker with no ice. To this, we're going to add 3/4 of an ounce of gin. One. The same amount, 3/4 of an ounce of sweet vermouth. One. And the same amount, 3/4 of an ounce of green chartreuse. Okay. Final ingredient is, whoa, is 1 dash of orange bitters. All right, now we're going to add our ice. And as with many classic cocktails, this cocktail is stirred, it's not shaken. So we're going to stir it to meld these disparate ingredients together. Okay, so now that we're done stirring, we're going to strain this into our glass. So the first weird thing, in my opinion, about this recipe is that the glass that's called for is a cocktail glass 3-ounce size. Cocktail glasses these days are not 3 ounces, they hold really much closer to 5. So I started measuring. I have a lot of glassware in my house, folks, believe me. And what I determined was when they say a 3-ounce cocktail glass, they mean a Nick and Nora. So if you are a glassware fan or a bar fan and you've got a Nick and Nora, that's the right size for this cocktail, okay? So now we're gonna strain this into our Nick and Nora. You see, it's just the right amount. Now, the second weird thing about this is the garnish. So there are 2 garnishes. The first garnish is a lemon twist. What do we do with a twist? We run it around the edge, we squeeze to get a couple of drops of oil from the rind into the cocktail, and we dump it in. That's not weird at all, right? But the second garnish, you have a choice. Your choice is either a cherry or an olive. That seems very odd to me because the two things couldn't be farther apart. I mean, a cherry, super sweet, often with a little bit of alcohol in it, sugar, and then an olive, typically very briny, salty, the complete opposite of one another. So I had to make a choice. And based upon the fact that I don't see a lot of sweet in this cocktail, I chose the olive. We are leaving aside my beloved Luxardos and dropping an olive in here. So this cocktail is garnished with a lemon twist and either an olive or a cherry. Today, it's an olive. All right, let's go ahead and drink and try the Tailspin. Well, it's very strong. As you see, there are no mixers here. There is nothing to tone down the alcohol. It's a very woodsy, herbal cocktail because both the gin and the green chartreuse are full of, over 100 altogether, over 100 different herbs. So it's a very herbal cocktail. Sweet vermouth, is just a form of fortified wine. So we've got gin and green chartreuse adding this woody, herbal, forest-like flavor, and I mean that as a positive, not a negative. And the warmth and yet, to my palate, sourness of the sweet vermouth, adding that to the flavor of the cocktail. It's interesting. I don't hate it, even though it's not sweet at all. I don't hate it. I think that if you are a fan of the herbal qualities in gin, not everybody is. Gin is not popular with everybody. But if you are a gin fan, then I think you're gonna like this. I think it's worth it to go and spring for a bottle of green chartreuse, awesome stuff, and make this because it is sort of, it's kind of like the things that you like in gin on steroids because it's those herbal qualities of the gin and the herbal qualities of the green chartreuse together. It kind of ramps it all up. And I kind of like that, even though there's nothing sweet. Now, why is there a choice of adding a cherry in this? I have no fucking idea. It does not make sense to me at all. Don't put a cherry in. I just think it would be disgusting and a waste of good sherry. But the way it is with the olive and the lemon twist, it's fine. It's different. And for that reason alone, it's worth trying. Drink up, enjoy.